but it sounds good. And hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be reviewing a 2022 BMW M440i. Now this particular one is the two-door. I actually had the four-door for a week, and it was definitely a fun car to have for a week, but it'll be interesting to check out the two-door today. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake City, Utah, for giving me some time with this BMW. This one is available for sale right now. If you're interested, I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below. They have a ton of pre-owned inventory, but then they also have the new Acura models as well, so definitely check them out. As always, if you also want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below as well. Let's get into it. So under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 382 horsepower and then 369 pound-feet of torque. And of course, we got to have the carbon fiber print with the M Performance badge, but there you go. Now let's go over the front end of the M440i. So first off, I think this looks so cool with the white paint job that this particular one has. Now you can see how prominent the body lines are here on the hood. And then coming down below, we've got the daytime running lights with the headlights pretty bright. Again, it's bright outside, so it's hard to see them. And then notice we got the blacked out accent here off to the side. And then we have BMW's larger kidney front grille here with the BMW logo there at the top. Parking sensors integrated into the front end. And yeah, overall, it's actually a pretty cool looking car and looks aggressive from the front end. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 25mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels on the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see from a design perspective, you've got like silver trim on the outside of the wheel and then it's black there on the center. It looks really cool and sporty. And we have a giant red brake caliper there. And we've got pretty big brakes on this car. It's kind of interesting that this car has like smaller tires, but then it has big brakes. It's kind of interesting with the overall setup with it. Anyways, you guys can see here with the bodywork at the bottom, and then notice kind of like the little curve right there. Blacked out mirrors, blacked out window trim as well. And yeah, and the two-door looks pretty cool from a side view perspective. Now here's our key fob. We have our unlock function, our lock function in the opening here for the trunk, and notice the lock function is the BMW logo. Now popping inside here, it's actually very spacious. Got a pretty large trunk. This is a large size two-door sports car, so it kind of makes sense. And yeah, other than that, when you're all done, it looks like there's no lowering function, so you just gotta lower it yourself. Now finishing things up with the rest of the rear, you guys can see we've got this itty-bitty spoiler here at the top. We have our xDrive badge right there, M440i on the other side, and then you guys can see parking sensors down below, and then also look at the taillights. We're pretty cool with the design. And then notice here we've got that blacked out piece of trim, and then also here at the diffuser at the bottom. And look at the covers for the exhaust tips. Pretty cool appearance, and there you go. Now here is the front and only door panel. Well, I guess there's the passenger side too, but anyways, you guys can see here with the leather trim on the door panel, we do have memory seats. You've got your window controls, your door lock and unlock, blind spot monitoring for the mirrors, and then that is just to open up the trunk. We have our M logo right here, and yes, we still do get back seats, as you guys can see. Notice when I throw the seat forward, it automatically throws it forward. Now the back seats are actually somewhat usable. The roof is pretty sloped, so headroom's not great. Legroom is, again, okay, so I'd pretty much reserve it for kids. You can fit adults back there in a pinch though. And then going over the front seat, really nice perforated leather, as you guys can see here. And then notice with the adjustments here on the side, nice looking pedal layout. We got BMW's normal light controls right there. And let's pop in. Now here is the steering wheel. So notice really nice leather trim all around. You got our M logo there at the bottom with the heated steering wheel control, and then stitching and leather around the airbag cover. And then we got some controls for like the phone and the voice command system. And then you guys can see here with the paddle shifters on the back, and we got a cruise control on the other side, turn signal stock, windshield wiper stock, all the normal BMW works, right? So here is our gauge cluster. You guys can see like fuel and speed on the one side. You got a map there in the center, and then it shows how much power we are using. Now, depending on the drive mode you're in, we'll actually change things. So notice Eco Pro, it changes it. Then we have like our Comfort, which will also change it. And we have our Sport Plus, and notice that'll show the RPMs. So you guys can see that whole setup. And we have Sport Individual as well. And then we have Sport. So there's 3 different sport modes. That is correct. There's not 3 different comfort modes though, there's just regular comfort, but there you go. Now pop it into reverse so you guys can see we've got the backup camera with trajectory lens that do turn with the steering wheel, and you gotta remember we do have parking sensors as well. Now just like other new BMWs, we have the shortcut bar here on the side, and we've got the main screen right here. Response time on it is great, it's pretty easy to use, and I feel like it's pretty nicely integrated here into the dash. Sorry about the lighting, it's kind of bad today, but yeah, there you go. It's just the shortcut button to the safety tech on the screen, so you can customize it to everything on or individual. And then notice we've got our little climate control section here, dual zone climate, heated seats for the front, and then we got a radio preset, so we can just hover your finger over and that'll show up on the screen. If you guys are wondering, that's what it looks like. Anyways, we got this little piece of trim that covers up the wireless phone charger. Got a couple of cup holders with the USB shifter for the 8-speed automatic transmission. Stability control, parking sensors, engine stop start, and then we've got our drive mode select here with our auto hold. And then this is our analog control of the infotainment system, so if you don't want to use the touchscreen, you can use this little dial. Got our parking brake right there, and then center console setup with the USB inside of it. And then notice here the stitching off to the side, looks pretty nice. And pretty normal setup right there. Looks like we have the original window sticker. Cool, we'll go over that in a minute. And then we do have our sunroof here, so it's like, it's bigger than a regular sunroof, but it's not quite a panoramic. It's like in that weird, awkward in-between phase, but there's the top. So this is the original window sticker, which would show you what this would cost from brand new. Obviously, this one's pre-owned, so the pricing is going to be whatever the market value is currently. Notice it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is pretty cool. And also, look at the warranty here at the BMW's 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty. Anyways, there's some equipment here on this. Total MSRP originally was $64,220. See how she drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood. We also have the heads-up display, both the mirrors, which do have blind spot monitoring, and throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. So we are setting off here in the M440i, and this is the coupe. And I doubt this is going to drive any different than the 4-door that I had as a loaner for the week, but for review's sake, we will see. I love how BMWs drive. So first off, this is a very, very bumpy road. And yeah, suspension's doing a good job at soaking it up. Make sure I'm in the comfort setting. Yes, we're in comfort. And it's doing a really good job of just soaking everything up. So it's just nice and smooth from a ride quality perspective, which I really appreciate. Other than that, seat comfort's pretty good with the modern BMWs. And the thing about BMWs, their cars are like all the same. They use, you know, the same few powertrains across the board. And then they have like the same interior with all the cars. I guess the benefit of that is, like, you know, if you get in one BMW, then you've been in pretty much all of them. Like, you understand all of them with how the infotainment system works, how the gauge cluster works. It just all feels familiar. But, you know, everyone says that these, you know, this is the M series car, but not a true M car. Everyone says that this is the sweet spot for BMW because it's still comfortable and affordable. Relatively affordable compared to an M car, but it sounds good and is quick. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, where you get the comfort, you get the, you know, it's more affordable, and it still is great with the performance and sounds cool too. And this 8-speed automatic is just so quick, like, just bangs through shifts. It's amazing. But yeah, I've driven a ton of these new BMWs now, a lot with this inline 6, and here's what I have to say is I think that this is the engine to go for with BMW, because the 4-cylinder is good, and it's in, you know, the transmission with the 4-cylinder, right, the 8-speed automatic does a really good job at making it feel pretty quick for what it is, but it's not great. This is great from a power perspective. Like, this feels just solid when you punch it. Like, you feel like you're getting places, right? And then on top of that, this engine's very reliable, this inline 6. The same can't be said for BMW's V8, their 4.4 liter V8. The turbocharged 4-cylinder is pretty reliable, but again, it doesn't have the excitement factor. So like this has the most amount of excitement and reliability as well. So I think it's the powertrain to go for. I think that again, the M series cars are the ones to go for because again, the affordability is there and they still perform amazingly well and they're still comfortable to drive on a daily basis. And the seats are comfortable. They're not like crazy like the M cars. Other than that, 2-door versus 4-door, I mean, if you're gonna have people in the back, obviously get the 4-door, but if you're not as often, then yeah, this is a cool looking car. The 2-door definitely looks better than the 4-door, I think. But that's typical with most 2-door cars. So yeah, this is a cool, like, you know, fast, sporty, grand touring, you know, two-door car. It's kind of interesting. Let me know what you guys think about it, but I think it's pretty cool. Now let's get some things up for a video on this M440i. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jody Wilkinson Acura here in Salt Lake for giving me some time with this BMW. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see you guys.